Hi, my name's Emily. I'll be your CNA today. Can you give me your name? Miss Jane? Hi, Miss Jane. I'm going to be providing you with a bed bath today, a modified bed bath today. That's going to be your face, your arm, your underarm, and your hand. Is that all right with you? It is? Great. Let me go gather my supplies and I'll be right back. Hi, my name's Emily. I'm a certified nursing assistant student at the North Texas Nursing and Career Institute in Denton, Texas. Today I will be providing a skill to a resident, which is a modified bed bath. This includes cleaning the face, arm, underarm, and hand of the resident. I will go gather my supplies now after washing my hands. We're going to need to grab our paper towel and turn on both sides of our sink, ensuring that the water is warm but not too hot. And we're going to throw this paper towel away. We're going to get our hands wet, ensuring that the water is warm. And we're going to get our soap. At this point, we will lather for at least 20 seconds, generally about the time you sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. And I want you to note that you always scrub from cleanest to dirtiest, dirtiest being your fingertips. You want to ensure that you clean your fingernails on the inside of opposing palms and that you clean in between each finger as you're scrubbing. And now to rinse, make sure to never touch the inside of the sink and wash from the water going down from your wrist to your fingertips and rinse. Again, ensuring that your hand never touches the inside of the sink or any surfaces of the sink. And you'll do the same for the opposite hand. At this point, you'll grab your paper towels and you want to ensure that your hands are completely dry. This will help you in donning and doffing gloves to ensure that nothing gets stuck. We want to always dry from cleanest to dirtiest, from wrist to fingernails. And once hands are completely dry, we will discard of this paper towel, grab a new one, turn the sink off, throw that paper towel away, grab a new paper towel to open the door, turn the light off, throw the paper towel away. Hi, Miss Jane. I've gathered my supplies. Let me put them down and then I'll ensure that your bed is in a raised working position so that I'm able to work at a comfortable level, all right? I'm going to put down my barrier. I'm going to put down my towel, my new gown, my gloves, my washcloths, my extra towels needed, my bath blanket, my basin and my soap, and my extra pair of gloves. All right, Miss Jane, I'm going to go ahead and raise your bed to a safe working height for me, and I'm going to raise the rails of your bed. I'm going to gather my water and I will return shortly, okay? I'm going to ensure that my bed wheels are locked and that my privacy curtain is drawn. All right, Miss Jane, I'm going to go gather my water and I'll be right back. When gathering water for a patient, you always want to grab a paper towel to turn on the water and throw this away. We're going to test the water with our wrist and ensure that it feels warm, but not too cool and not too hot. We're going to fill our basin. grab another paper towel and turn the sink off and dispose of that paper towel. And now I'm going to walk back into the room and I'm going to test the water against the inside of my wrist. And the water feels all right to me. All right, Miss Jane, I've tested your water. Now what I would like you to do is test the water to ensure that it's safe for you, okay? You let me know if I need to adjust any warmth or coolness of the water. And I'm going to place her hand in the basin. Does that feel all right to you? It does? Great. I'm going to cover your arm back up. And we'll get started. I'm going to place the call light at the end of the bed so that it's out of the way. And I'm going to place my gloves on. We will be replacing the resident's gown. And so first we're going to remove her old and soiled gown, dispose of it, and we will begin from there after that with the modified bed bath. So I'm going to place my bath blanket over the resident to ensure that she stays warm and private during this procedure. And never shake or fluff any of the blankets. This helps to reduce pathogens in the air. All right, Miss Jane, I'm going to cover you up with this bath blanket and we'll remove your soiled gown. I'm going to remove this bed rail for my safety. And this will help me to remove your gown. All right. I'm going to go ahead and lift your neck from the back, and I'm going to untie your gown. Wonderful, Miss Jane. I'm going to go ahead and roll your sheets to about waist-high level, while maintaining your privacy and keeping you covered. All right, Miss Jane, we're going to go ahead and slip your arm out of this side of the gown while keeping you covered, and we'll cover that side up. Now I'm going to raise this side rail and move over to the other side of the bed so that we can remove the other side of your gown. And I'll lower this bed rail. All right, Miss Jane, let's remove your arm from this side of the gown. Making sure to never overexpose you. And I'm going to roll the gown in to reduce the risk of contamination. We never want to roll the soiled side out. We always want to roll the soiled side in. And always making sure to keep any soiled linens or utilities away from our uniform. And I'll place this in the dirty utility. All right, Miss Jane, we're going to go ahead and start with your modified bed bath. Is that all right? It is? Okay, great. Let's move your hair out of your face and I will begin. All right, I'm going to grab one wet washcloth, and now when cleaning the resident's face, we never use soap. Residents tend to have sensitive skin, and so we never want to use soap anywhere near the face. We're going to rinse this washcloth out, and we're going to fold it into corners. This will allow us to use 4 different leaves of the washcloth, because you want to ensure that every stroke you use is a new part of the washcloth. When giving a modified bed bath, you're going to start with the eye furthest from you, and you're going to clean from the inner to the outer, and that's one stroke. You'll clean down to the ear. You will fold that leaf over, and you'll clean the eye closest to you, inner to outer, and down to the ear. We will then fold that leaf over. This will be our 3rd leaf. We will clean the the resident's forehead and down through the cheek and fold this leaf over. This will be our fourth leaf. We will clean the resident's other side of the forehead and down through the cheek. We will fold this leaf over. This will be our last and final leaf, our fifth leaf, and this will clean the resident's nose and mouth. And she's all clean. We will now place this washcloth in the soiled utility. I will grab a clean, dry towel and I will dry the resident's face. And I will always make sure to pat dry using a different area of the towel every time I pat. Making sure that her face is clean and dry and comfortable for her. Miss Jane, are you comfortable? Does that feel dry and nice and clean for you? It does? That's great to know. I will now take this towel that I used to dry her face and I will uncover one arm. And I will wrap this bath blanket underneath her. I will now place this towel underneath her arm and armpit, making sure that she is comfortable and to help protect the bed while we wash her arm and her armpit and her hand. And always make sure that nothing that is considered soiled comes into contact with her sheets. All right. For the next skill, I'm going to grab another washcloth. I'm going to get it wet, and I'm going to get my soap. I'll wring this washcloth out. I will wring this washcloth out. Again, making sure that it's folded in corners so that we can use 4 leaflets of the washcloth. And I'll get my soap. And this is a very important part. Make sure that you lather the washcloth so that every bit of the washcloth has soap on it. And never rinse or scrub the washcloth above your basin. Your basin is considered clean and you will use that to rinse your resident later. So never scrub your washcloth right above the basin. And now that I've ensured that each part of my washcloth has soap on it, I will again fold it in quarters and I will begin to wash the resident's arm. All right, Miss Jane, I'm going to wash your arm now. Is that all right? Great. I'm going to support the resident's elbow and wrist, ensuring to not touch my uniform or my clothing. And I'm going to wash from the tip or from the top of the shoulder, and I'm going to rinse down through the hand, making sure to clean the fingers. And I'll fold that leaf over. Next, I will clean again, holding the resident's elbow and wrist for support. I will clean the right side of the resident's arm from the shoulder down to the fingertips. And I'll fold that leaf over. Next, I will clean the left side of the resident's arm, starting just near the armpit and down through the fingers. Finally, for my last leaf, I will clean the resident's underarm, making sure that it is clean, and I will wash down through the hands and the fingertips. And now I will place this in the soiled utility. Next, I will grab another clean washcloth. I'll get it wet, wring it out, and I always want to ensure that my resident is comfortable and clean and that she is never overexposed. Are you comfortable, Miss Jane? Are you okay? All right, great. You let me know if the water is ever too warm or too cold for you. If at any point I can always adjust the water, okay? All right, great. Does this feel good still? It does? Great. And now, taking my rinsed washcloth with no soap on it, I will do the same motions I used to wash. I'll start at the shoulder, and I'll rinse down through the hand and the fingertips. I will fold that leaf over. I will start on the right side, again supporting the resident. Wash the right side of the arm, down through the hand and the fingertips. I will fold that leaf over. I will wash the left side of the resident's arm, moving down and through the palm and the fingertips. And finally, on my last leaf, I will rinse the resident's armpit, making sure that she is clean and there's no soap residue. And I will rinse down through the hand. And I will place this in the soiled utility. I will grab a clean towel and dry the patient's arm the same way that I have washed and rinsed it. I will start at the shoulder and dry down through the hand using a new part of the towel. I will grab the right side and dry down through the fingers and the hand using a new part of the towel. I will clean the left side down and through the fingers. And finally, I will use a new part of the towel and clean the dry the armpit and down through the fingers. And I will place this in my the blanket that I used as a barrier under her bed. And I will place both of these in the soiled utility and cover her back up with her bath blanket. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and replace Miss Jane's gown. And we're going to make sure that through this process, she remains safe, comfortable, and covered the entire time. All right, Miss Jane, I'm going to go ahead and raise this or lower this side rail to ensure my safety. And it's always important to use proper body mechanics anytime you have to bend or lean. So you want to make sure that your knees and your legs are shoulder width apart. And that will help prevent injury to both you and the resident. I will now uncover one arm of the resident, and I will place her new gown underneath the bath blanket, making sure to keep her as covered as possible. And we will place one arm through the new gown. All right, Miss Jane, I'm going to go over to your other side and place your other side of your gown in your arm. Let me raise this side rail. And I'm going to go to the other side of the bed. And you want to try your best to avoid reaching over the patient for any reason. That will help to prevent infection. Anytime you can, you need to move around to the other side of the bed to help the patient. That will ensure your security and theirs. And I'm going to straighten out my blanket. I actually want to make sure that she is straight and organized and wrinkle free as I do this. And I want to make sure again to remain covered, keep her covered at all points. Put this side of the bath blanket or of the gown in, keeping her covered. And I will show you in just a moment that the gown needs to be clean and wrinkle free. Now I'm going to go ahead and have Miss Jane and support her neck, lean her forward, grab both sides of the tie of the gown, and I'm going to pull it off to the side so that I can tie to ensure that it's not too tight or too loose for her. And this will ensure the safety and security, as well as keep her comfort so that she doesn't have to sit for a long period of time while I tie her gown. And this will ensure that she is not too tight and not too loose. And now I'm going to make sure that her gown is underneath her sheets, making sure to never expose her clean gown or any of her clean linens to any soiled surface. And I'm going to raise her sheets as I do this. I'm going to go around to the other side of the bed to remove the rest of this bath blanket, and I'm going to raise this side rail. And now when removing any bath blanket or soiled linen, you want to avoid reaching over the client or over the patient. This will reduce the risk of exposure or any kind of bloodborne or airborne pathogens. And I'm going to place this in the soiled utility. I'm going to make sure that she is straight and comfortable. All right, Miss Jane, I'm going to go dump out my water, rinse my hands, clean up my material, and I will be right back to ensure that you're safe and comfortable, okay? All right. At this point, I will take my basin, my unused gloves, and my soap, and I will place them in the designated dirty area, and I will throw my gloves away. All right, for this part, I'm going to empty, rinse, and dry my basin. This is a very important step. I'm going to empty my basin, grab a paper towel, turn the water on. I'm going to rinse all sides of my basin. I'm going to dump that out. I'm going to turn the water off and discard of this paper towel. I'm going to grab a new paper towel, dry the inside of my basin, ensuring that it's completely dry. I'm going to grab another paper towel and dry the outside of my basin, ensuring that it is completely dry. Discard that paper towel. I will now place this in the designated dirty utility. I will take my barrier off my table. I will ensure that Miss Jane is comfortable, that she does not need anything. I'm going to straighten her linens to the way that I found them when I got here. Make sure that she is nice, clean, and comfortable. That's always our number one priority, making sure that the resident is safe, clean, and comfortable. And I'm going to go to the other side of the bed, and I will straighten that side. Ensure that this is nice and clean and the way that I found it when I got here. I'm going to go over to the other side of the bed. Make sure that my bed wheels are still locked. Miss Jane, are you comfortable? Do you need anything? All right, my skill is finished. I'm going to place your call light well within reach, and I'm going to lower your bed to its lowest possible height, okay? There's your call light. You let me know if you need anything else, all right? All right, thank you. I'm going to remove the resident's privacy curtain. Again, ensure that the bed wheels are locked. I will discard of my dirty gloves, ensuring to not contaminate any part of my hand. I will discard of that glove. I will wash my hands, and this skill is complete.